to start. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for October 23rd, 2019. SPY up 0.27, Qs up 0.19. Pretty muted day here. Qs and SPY, we do have Microsoft reporting, so that should make for some market moving news here. So still bullish coming into today due to the pullback to support, due to the larger time frames remaining bullish here. So weekly and monthly still staying strong here, all right, on the Qs and SPY. So going into tomorrow, given the inside day that we got today, doesn't really change much. Still going to be bullish going into tomorrow. And the focus remains the earnings gaps that we get. And what we should be looking for are high quality gaps and high quality patterns. So it's good to be selective. I know, especially during this time of the year, during earnings season, we feel like, we're passing on some things that are working really, really well, right? But it's okay to be picky. It's just the way it's going to be. You're going to miss some nice plays or pass on some nice plays. Okay, it's always something that takes a little bit of adjustment for me as well when we get into earnings season, because I know I'm passing on some plays, whether I don't like the daily location or the setup is not quite perfect, and some of them are going to work, all right? But what I want to do here is take a look at some of the patterns that we've been seeing and talk a little bit about the secondary entry, okay? And what we're looking for when we're talking about a secondary entry, okay? Now, this Pets had a gap up. This was from a couple days ago. You might have played this with me. Had a gap up, had a nice rally, but a really steep drop here. Really quick drop, okay? And what happens when you get this kind of quick drop is that longs who are in it, some of them are going to miss their chance to exit. So what's going to happen when those longs who might have got caught off guard by this reversal look for a chance, or what are they going to be thinking? They're going to be thinking, well, if this just goes back up and I can get this, up closer to the highs, I'm going to take my profit. So this kind of wide range bar, the concern if you're looking to play the next move higher is that there are some trapped longs, potential overhead supply, right? And that overhead supply could be a problem because as you get in, they start to sell, right? And that's going to push the price back down. So when this actually started to break out of this range here, a little bit of a pullback there, it tried to pop and became a topping tail, right? So now where is this gonna go from here? And that's the main thing we're looking for in a secondary entry. Let the initial move happen and then we wait for the reaction. So now we got this reaction, which became selling. Now, over this area, now that we know that the selling gets absorbed, we can actually join in on this long. We know the buying is for real. Now, the downside to waiting for a secondary entry is what if this triggers and then just takes off and you never get a reaction? That's going to happen sometimes too. But what's also going to happen is you're going to avoid some of these traps, okay, where they trigger, immediately get reversed, and potentially might fail. Now, what we did yesterday is we let the topping tail occur. We let the first initial buying happen, became a topping tail, and then over the topping tail, we played long. Okay, so we let that selling occur. Once that selling is absorbed, we're entering over the topping tail. Stop was going underneath this bar. Okay, and looking for new highs on the Pets. So just take a quick mental snapshot of how this played out, how the pattern was formed on the PETS. Now, PDLI, okay, we had this gap up today. Gap up showed buying right away, okay, moved up. We got some, again, kind of a steep pullback, wide range bars to start the move. Are there longs trapped in this who wanted to take profit, who missed their chance maybe? That is what these bars potentially create. So, does a pullback here, right? And starts to set up like it wants to go higher, triggers higher, okay, and then again, we see some selling step in, creates a topping tail. So again, in this PDLI, right? Because you know the pullback started a bit steep, started pretty quickly, wide range bar to start the move there. We want to see, can this next move up really absorb those potential sellers, right? Because those potential sellers could keep this move from getting to new highs and beyond, right? So now what do? All right, we let that selling happen. Now we can play over the topping tail. Okay, right there, triggered in, right? Looking for new highs on the PDLI. So you can see the similarities there. When you have something that where the pullback starts kind of quickly, rapidly, potentially trapping some people who were in it long, who are looking to take profit, right? You wait for the secondary entry. So you let the first entry occur, you let there be a reaction, and then you play over the reaction, right? So it gives you a little bit more of a confirmed entry here. Okay, so this is a good way. If there's something just not quite perfect about the play, you can wait for this kind of secondary entry to get a little bit more of a confirmed entry. Now, if you had played just kind of the original one, you got in on this topping tail and it never took out the stop, yeah, you'd get a tighter stop and you don't run the risk of missing the play if it does go, right? But this is more my preference. Let that initial reaction happen, get a little bit of a more secure, more confirmed, higher odds play. Okay, all right. So seeing a lot of the same plays. Yesterday we talked about the sell setup and then the base like we got yesterday on the MRK and then the KMB. All right, this is a very similar kind of setup to the long side. So as long as you know what you're looking for, know what kind of setups you're looking for, right? That's what gives us the power of the pattern, right? Now the pattern is a similar setup, gives us a predictable outcome because we see a consistent outcome here, a predictable outcome. Okay, all right, so hopefully you're doing well. I think earnings season is really still just getting underway, so if you've been taking it easy a little bit, haven't been that busy, I think that's totally understandable, but just make sure you are ready to go because especially next week going to be a lot of stuff to look at and a lot of trades. And if you're in the room with me, you know I'm calling a lot more trades this week already. So things are just heating up. Hopefully you're doing well. We'll see what the market brings us tomorrow. All right, and I will talk to you then. All right, have a good evening.